Hello, everyone, and welcome
David.
to. Hello. Look at all of you are waving. Hey, we have these contests every 3 months. A new contest goes up. We have to select the first, second, third place winner. We've done each episode slightly differently. Tonight, we are looking at 20 different entries of hundreds and hundreds of entries that we get. We get many hundreds of entries. We're looking at 20 of them. Someone in my office went through. They pulled what they deemed to be about 8 or so of the best of the 2, 3, 400 entries, whatever the number is. I don't know this particular month, this contest. They pulled 8, I think they said, of the what they think are the best. And then they pulled a whole bunch of other ones which are there to educate. We have intentionally pulled some that may be not so good. And for that reason, no one's name will be shown today. Okay. No one's name will be out there. I will be working with initials. So as I go through, I'm going to pull up these 20 different names. We know that 8 of them are going to be pretty good, very good, in fact. Some not necessarily that stellar. I will talk about each one briefly, give you my 2 cents on each one, and then we will move on to the next one. I will ask at times for participation because I find that when you are put into the position of having to kind of speak out loud, it really forces you to listen carefully. I could tell you all, just listen to it and kind of think about your own thoughts. Whether you do that or not, I don't know. But if I tell you to say your thoughts out loud, you kind of have to listen. I found over the years that it forces you to listen more like a casting director, and that is so important. So when you record your own auditions at home without a director, you know better what to listen for, what to think about. I'm sure that of some of the 20 entries that I have in front of me, some of them I'll probably get one word into it and stop and give you my feedback, and we will move right on to the next one. Does anyone have any general questions?
Did I win?
Let's go. You ready? I want you to keep your own notes, everyone. Please keep your own notes. So the first person, their initials are KP. This is person number 1. KP are the notes. Whether you remember KP or just number 1, listen carefully. I will probably play possibly 1 second and hit stop. Maybe I'll play a little bit more. We'll see. I'm looking at the direction myself. This was a 30-second spot playing in 3 regional areas with like a voice actor with excitement in their voice that'll engage listeners. Let's talk about the script really fast. It's a 30-second script. How many lines are there? 5 lines of text. It takes about, I hope everyone knows, about 5 seconds to read a line of text. That's about 25 seconds. Numbers take a lot longer to read, right?
Yeah.
Because this number is the equivalent of possibly 10 or 15 words. So this is a pretty solid 30-second script. If someone reads the audition and they're super fast or super slow, I have a feeling that their timing would be way off, and we'll probably just discredit them from the contest at that point. Or they just won't win, I should say. Okay. So here is KP, who is number 1.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun with busch gardens, water country USA.
Her audio quality is great. We'll take a little bit more time on the first 1 or 2. Good audio quality, right? Sounds clear. What do you guys think?
Yep.
Little slow to me.
Yeah, right now I'm talking about the quality of the audio. The sound
the quality is great.
Quality's good.
Yeah, it's really good, right? It's a very clear recording. I thought she was choppy. I thought it was a little too sing-songy, almost a little pushed. I love the idea of having some lightness in there and some creativity, but it sounds a little forced to me. It's not quite flowing naturally. It's almost as if she's working hard at getting that enthusiasm. And let's listen to person number 2. This is number 2, the initials TK rather.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun with busch gardens, water country USA.
Okay. Yeah, I like getting your thoughts. What do you think about this one?
I heard the enthusiasm. You could tell she was smiling as she read the script. And when you can hear someone smiling, that's kind of what I try to convey in mine. I hope they can hear me smiling.
Yep, I definitely heard the smile. Yeah. Any other comments really fast?
It might run too long.
Yeah, that's interesting. Here, I'm going to jump to the end of it and see. She came in at
3135. Here at
25
Colonial Williams.
25 seconds.
Oh.
Huh.
So that was fine.
Yep. And if you look, here's something to think about, everyone. When you look at that audition, that script, the beginning of the script does look like the beginning of the script, right? It doesn't look like there had to have been another voice actor who had an introduction. And the end of it really looks like the conclusion of the script. I don't think anything else will be added. That seems like the entire script. If you have a script and there's no indication as to how to get in touch with the company, for example, there's no visit us at this website or call this number, there's no contact information, then you'd have to assume, well, there's probably another voice actor who will have an outro, right? A conclusion to that commercial. So maybe you'd need to leave a little time. But this seems like the whole spot, in which case you could take the entire, not 30 seconds, but let's say 28 seconds. So she's fine at 25. And maybe she could have taken a bit more time. Maybe if we listen to the whole thing, we realize she got too fast at some point. So a big difference between radio and TV. Does everyone know the difference? In general terms, there's one big difference between the two. Do you know what that is?
Visuals.
Well, yes, TV has visuals. So what does that mean to your read? If you get an audition and the client says it's for radio, that means you need to do one thing a little bit more versus if they say it's TV, you need to do something a little differently. Do you know what that difference is?
Punch it up for radio.
Energy
Yes.
for radio.
Yeah, why?
No
Because it's
visual.
lacking.
Because a listener needs to get the visual in their head by your voice instead of.
You sometimes have to do much more storytelling and be a bit more enthusiastic to kind of grab that attention because, yeah, the visuals add so much energy, right? If you watch a commercial, there's a TV commercial, there's a lot going on visually, and that stimulates, that adds a lot of energy. You think about it this way. If you have a commercial, if a client has a commercial, and they know that they want the output of that commercial to have 100% energy, well, the video may add 50% of the energy, and the music adds 25% of the energy, and the sound effects add 25% of the energy. Well, there's 100% of the energy right there. Like the voice actor can be kind of dull. And that's an exaggerated version of the story, but because there is visual, you don't need sometimes as much energy. And also with visuals, typically you have to kind of sync your voice to the picture, which won't happen with radio. With TV, you can have longer breaks, but with radio, longer breaks would sound wrong. So there are definitely differences. Let's go on to the next person. This is person number 3. I realize we don't need initials. We'll just call this person number 3.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up.
I just heard something really weird. Listen to the word thing and tell me about the beginning of the word thing.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up.
What's happening or not happening on the word thing?
You don't hear the
Hear the
TH.
TH.
Yeah, it's a little weird, right? And
Hard glottal stop.
yeah, that too. I could say if I loved someone's voice and I know that I will be directing them, sure, I can get that. I can say, hey, when you record, make sure you get that TH. But so often in this industry, especially for corporate narration work, you're hired to record a script on your own. So we need voice actors who we can trust to get those sounds out. And in a commercial, a 15 or a 30-second commercial, those sounds are really important. What else? Other thoughts about him? What about, let's go very quickly, the sound quality. Here it is again. Let's talk about the sound, just sound quality. Don't talk about the way he reads. Just the sound quality. I'll play 2 seconds and tell me about the quality.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg.
I didn't
What do
think
you
it was
think?
very good.
Too much echo. Natural echo in the room.
It kind of exaggerated his voice.
I heard kind of a
Not
buzzing,
clear.
actually.
It sounds a little tinny.
Okay, and what about the read?
History isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also
Like if you listen to Soak Up, is there a P on Soak Up? Listen.
plenty of 21st century fun
Let me back up here. Listen to Soak Up.
with Bush Gardens.
Oh, I can't get to the middle here. Let me play from the top again. Listen to Soak Up.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's
Soca. It almost sounds like Soca. I'm exaggerating it, but
Yeah,
once music is put in, with music, that's going to sound like Soca.
Yeah, you won't hear it.
Yeah, so that would concern me if recording
Too
or
late
choosing
there.
someone. I'm going to person number 4. I will say the initials because someone had a great point. If it happens to be you, this person number 4's initials are JW.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of...
Okay, thoughts?
Sound
Sounded like a
I-
DJ.
Very announceritis.
Yeah.
Did I hear announceritis?
Presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, It was choppy. There were glottal stops. Yeah.
We
Now
have
we're going
the
to
meats.
now we're going to go through some names. Everyone else much faster. This next person is person 5 is JP.
Colonial Williamsburg. History isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun.
I'm really enjoying hearing your thoughts. Shoot them out really fast. What do you think of the delivery? Let me play that.
I like
It's
the
more
enthusiasm.
animation-based sounding.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun.
She's
That's just
smiling.
over the
Yeah, I like
over the
the smile.
top.
Explosives.
Yeah, over the top.
Enthusiastic, and why go up at the end of up? I
Well,
mean,
up is up. Yeah.
Up is up.
Yeah.
You don't
She's
soak down ever.
She has there's energy there, but it's also it's a little forced to my ears. It's just not flowing
A
naturally.
little pressured, a little forced.
Whoever said
Forced.
pressured, I like that
Yeah.
the use of that word there. It's a little pressured. It is a little forced, and that diminishes it. It really does. It's not a comfortable one-on-one feel, right? When people listen to commercials, they're by themselves. When you record a commercial, you need to remember that you're talking to one person. A million people may hear your commercial, but every one of those people are at home by themselves or listening in their car by themselves. Talk to one person. Let it flow naturally. We're moving on to person number 6 here. The initials are CM. I am really impressed with the comments that I'm hearing from everyone. I'm really enjoying hearing them. Here it is, CM, number 6.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 20.
This is a second person who had some pretty bad edits in their recording. That bothers me. That
Yeah.
shows me. Yeah, I'm sure you all heard the edit, right?
The level was,
The level is low.
yeah.
There's echo and stuff, but I'm talking about that edit. Just
Yeah,
There's kind of a pop between the first.
It interrupted the flow of it.
Yeah.
yeah, that edit when you have something that's technically wrong, it can really throw off your game. You throw you off the chance of getting hired, unless you're going to be brought into a commercial studio and be recorded at the client studio, and then it doesn't matter. I can listen to someone read and think, man, their sound quality and their editing is terrible. But if I know that we are bringing them into our own studio, then I don't care because I know that we have better quality. We have good quality at our studio, and we will edit the recording. But that doesn't cut it for an audition. So yeah,
David,
that
would
goes
you
out.
replay that edit for people?
Yeah. Listen back. This is the second person who had an edit like this.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st.
It just jumps a little too fast.
It's chopped.
Yeah, it's chopped. Yeah. Yeah. Going to number 7 here. The initials are JH.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun.
That was one of the eight.
Interesting take. That's a take that's different than we've heard yet.
Yep, that was one of the 8, I believe.
What does everyone think? Sound quality. Let's first talk about the audio quality.
Great sound.
Thought it was very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Love the tone.
Very nice sounding voice, trusting.
Kind of documentary like.
Kind of reminds me of a tour guide.
Not too mellow.
Yeah, let's listen to a bit more.
With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and, oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
They're hired.
Colonial.
Yeah,
That's a
Love
good
it.
win right there.
he
I
came
like
in
the
at
take.
about 26 seconds, which is great.
That's good.
Nice read. So I think we have one person who, so far, we can say might be in our first, second, or third place. We're going to move on to person number 8 here. The
David,
initial.
before
Yes.
you move on, he said 3135.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I get a phone number and I know you can read it that way. How would you figure yourself to do that?
Let me go back and look at that
I
script.
had the same kind of struggle with the idea of 1-800 or 1-800.
Well, it all comes down to one thing.
Hi.
What is easiest to remember?
Yeah.
What is the easiest way to
I-
remember the phone number?
I
When a
went
phone
with-
number is said once, Why a company puts a phone number in a commercial once to myself doesn't make sense. Now maybe they've studied and realized people can remember it after hearing it once. I personally could never remember a phone number. I think I'd have to hear it like 10 times. Once is kind of weird because it doesn't even spell a word. But still, is it easier to remember 3,135 or 3135 or 3135? To me, 3135 is easier to remember. I'm not saying that that's the best way. Ideally, a company that is putting out a national ad and spending $8 million on their ad campaign, for example, should do some focus groups. And they theoretically, they should try the phone number in different styles and see what is the easiest to remember. For me, 3135 would work better.
Would it be best then if you were doing this audition to do it both ways? 2 ticks, 2 different tags.
I don't think giving a second take just for a different phone number would make sense. Because for a spot like this, more than likely you can ask the client when you get the job, or the client will be there and direct you over the phone or through Zoom or through Source Connect or IPTTL or something. I think that's just hopefully, well, let me even step back. A good client, a good scriptwriter is going to write it out the way they want it. And that happens a lot. And if they don't, then you do what you think is best. And then when it comes time for recording, they'll guide you through that. Or like I said, you ask questions. I love voice actors. Well, in general, I especially love voice actors who ask questions. When we have someone come into the studio and they say, thanks, thrilled to be hired. Can you tell me how you want this said, or how do you want that said, or do you want it this way or that way or that way? And I think that's great. It shows that they care. It shows that they're thinking about it. I'm always concerned when someone comes in and they don't ask any questions. So that's a good thing. I think it's great to ask questions. I've talked about this before, but it's been a while, so I'm going to say this. I believe that if you ask good questions, you can charge more money. I'm serious about that. Listen, here's my rationale. If you hire a painter, or if you are hiring a painter to paint your bedroom, and you have 2 painters come to your home, and you want an estimate from 2 different painters. Painter number 1 walks in, looks around your room. They do a quick 360, and they say, yeah, it'll cost you $100 for me to paint your room. Later that day, painter number 2 comes over to your room, and you say, yeah, what's the cost? They look around your room, and then they ask you like 10 questions. They say, I noticed that there's some patches on one of the walls. I want to like do a double gloss there or double layer of paint. It costs a little bit extra. Is that okay? Do you want the trim the same color as the walls, or do you want different color trim? There's a wood trim around the sheetrock wall. That should get a different kind of paint. Is that okay? They ask you a whole bunch of questions. And then they say, we charge $125. Who would you feel more comfortable going with? The painter for $100 who asks no questions, or the painter who asks a lot of questions and charges $125? Who would you feel more comfortable with?
The question.
$125. Ask questions and make more money. Absolutely.
$100 person is gonna charge $175 when they finish.
So what's that about $175?
The person who just comes in, gives you $100. By the time he's finished, it'll be $175. Oh, you didn't tell me you wanted that. Oh, well, this is going to cost you more money.
Yeah, it could.
That's
could
true.
be the case.
Yeah.
Yep. Could be the case. Ask questions, make more money. Let's go on to this next person here. The next person, we're on number 8. The initials are DG. Oh, it's not me. Promise.
That's
Here
mine.
it is.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up.
That was a very loud S. Did anyone notice that?
Yeah.
Yes.
On the word soak? Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I've too forced, right?
Too eager.
Songy.
It's like they're trying to force the excitement a little bit.
Yeah, it sounded a little forced. I'm
Would
going
a
on-
de-esser eliminate that, or that has to be self-controlled by the mouth?
I would definitely use a de-esser, and sometimes that was so strong a de-esser may not even get it all out. You may have to manually pull that down, or just re-record, and don't push that S so hard.
Okay.
Okay, here's number 9. The initials are ES.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing you're...
Kind of the same comments. I have too forced. Someone said eager. I like that word, eager.
That pressured quality again. You just feel like their throat has a lot of pressure.
Yeah, came off very jarring.
Yeah, it is. I know. Here, let's see. This is number 10. The initials are JB.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun.
Comments?
Two
Claudia, what about the
fours.
sound? What about the sound quality?
A little loud.
Really,
Too high.
I didn't care for it.
It was kind of muddy to me.
Oh, I did not think it was muddy.
Too
it
high.
was, it was hot. Yeah, it was very hot. Yeah.
It sounded overacting, if you can do that on the
Yeah, it was too thought out. Yeah, it overacted, eager. Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't. It wasn't. It. I felt like the person who recorded was not having fun when they recorded that.
Yeah.
I think you have to have fun when you record this. This whole spot is about having fun.
So, David, I have a quick question about
Yes.
like audio quality. So, when something sounds kind of warbled, is that like a bit rate issue, or is that more like maybe they're using a USB mic as opposed to XLR? Or what do you think that usually comes down to?
Excuse me, but I'm on a USB mic right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. My apologies. Sorry.
No. That's no offense. You know what? I believe that in 3 years, everyone will be on USB mics. I mean, this switch is happening like everything else. We're on digital, just about everything. The vast majority of sound quality comes from the sound of your room and the way you process, not so much the mic. A good mic, a really good microphone in a bad sounding room or a room with, and bad processing will sound terrible. I have so often in the social media world, I see someone who says, I keep being told I have bad sound quality. So I went out and I bought a $1,000 Neumann microphone.
Oh.
And you listen in the room and it sounds bad because of echo and things. So if you have a better microphone, all it does is pick up even more echo and ambient noise and stuff. Yeah, it's the sound of the acoustics of your room, I think, are the most important thing, the most important element when it comes to good quality, good sound quality, followed by good processing. This mic, the $100 mic that I'm on, is fantastic. So it's not the USB microphone. I think to answer the question, there's so many things that can cause a sound to sound off. It could be overprocessed, overcompressed. Yeah, it could be a lot of different things. But it would definitely seem a little hot and a little jarring and too acting. Let's go on to number 11 here. The initials are BC. Okay, this is number 11 here. BC. Or let me hit enter. Let's see. Okay, here is BC, number 11.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With
Thoughts?
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, tell me why.
It's a little slurred. Plenty
Yeah, there was definitely some slurring, but
Yeah,
is that
slurring.
okay? It's supposed to be a family informal spot. Sometimes that's okay.
Mhm.
I thought it was a hair
It
too
felt nice
slurred.
and casual.
Yes, it was casual. I thought it was. We've had a few that have been just a hair too slurred to my ears, but it was casual. Let's listen again.
Natural.
I'll play where I picked up. I'll pick up rather from where I left off.
Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and, oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
Maybe a little too serious.
Love the laugh.
Oh, I like that he laughed.
Yeah, I like the laugh.
It was a laugh.
I could hear the smile at that.
It sounded authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
contender.
Yeah.
Definitely a contender. Definitely.
He's one of my two.
Okay, I'm going on to number 12 here. The initials are AA. Here it is.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun.
There's some nice parts to that, but I felt a little rushed in the beginning. What do you guys think?
Rushed and a little pushed.
Sounded a little nervous almost.
I like the voice.
It had some Tigger energy from Winnie the Pooh, which I actually liked.
I feel
Well,
like it bridges the gap for kids and adults. It pulls you in a little bit.
That's a really interesting comment. I think one thing that most of us here at Edge listen for is someone who doesn't jump the gun. Let me explain what this means. When people out there in the world of car driving and whatever, then they listen to commercials. They're in their car, they hear a commercial. It takes their ears, their brain really, sort of about a quarter of a second to switch over to the new voice actor. You go from one commercial to the next, or you go from a music to a commercial, or a conversation with someone, or a phone call with someone to a commercial, or silence to a commercial. When you get to a new commercial, it takes the brain a moment to kind of adapt or acclimate to that new spot, to that new voice. And the first quarter of a second, which is the time it takes to say one word, can get lost in the brain. It takes the brain just a moment to kind of catch up and figure out where it is. And if you rush the beginning, you can lose the listener. And if you lose the listener at the beginning of a spot, studies show they're gone. You lost them. Once you lose someone, it's very hard to get them back. I felt he was a little fast in the beginning for me, just a touch fast. Let's hear that beginning again.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg.
If I didn't know the words and I didn't know what I was about to play, and there's music in the background and probably sound effects in the background, and I'm driving in a car, that first word might be too fast. I would have liked to have had it a little slower. Now I could hire that voice and slow it down. Of course, I could slow down the first word. Let's hear a bit more, real fast. I'm jumping into the middle of it.
History isn't the only thing.
Oh, I'm not jumping into the middle. Here it is.
Your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun with Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach.
Little accent there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, didn't say water.
Water.
Lost
But
the R on
someone
the
said
water.
it is a nice bridge between adults and kids. That it has going for it.
Did he say with the Busch Gardens? With the Busch Gardens?
I don't know. Let me back up a little bit. The system is not letting me back up, I don't think.
Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
I don't like
That was a definite accent, though.
Did you notice how many words are missing the last sound? Did anyone notice that?
Yeah, like the gate kicked in or something.
Yeah, it could have been a gate or that he's not pronouncing the end of his words. Like 35, I heard 35. Let's move on to number 13. The initials are EL.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing.
I'm just turned off by choppy reads. I can't even hear them anymore. Been at this for too long to hear choppy reads. I can't go on. It's like, yeah, if you guys hear all the chops there, those are glottal stops. It's something I encourage everyone to watch out for. They happen before words that begin with vowels. She said, and I exaggerate, here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing. All of those pauses, it doesn't flow. Clients hate it. The rule of thumb is to connect words, connect all of your words. Every word connects. You never stop, or when you stop, you make sure it sounds intentional. Those should be the only two ways you read words. Either your words connect, or you have pauses that sound intentional. When you have pauses that are not intentional, or at least they don't sound intentional, they sound like choppy edits, and they are a turnoff. We're going on to 15, which is CW.
Here at Colonel.
Okay. I don't like the big inhale in the beginning. I'm not sure how well that comes through Zoom, because Zoom has an algorithm that it gets rid of some breaths and things, so it may hear that as noise. But that audition begins with a big breath. Then she said here, and then a pause after here.
Was too much.
And then a pause after the here. There's that chop again.
And she
Here at Colonel.
Here at. So
The here sounded breathy to me too.
Yeah, we're going on to number 16 here, which is DR. 16 is DR. Okay, here's 16.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 20.
Kind of blended together nicely.
Yeah, but I didn't feel a spark. I didn't hear a spark in there.
She wasn't smiling.
You know what? She may have. I don't know. I feel like there was a bit of smile in there, but it wasn't. It was just in a.
I don't think it was. It
spark.
wasn't exciting.
Yeah, that's a good word. It wasn't exciting. It didn't. Yeah.
I think there was also an edit.
Through.
Yeah.
We're moving on to.
It felt good for an intimate conversation, but I guess in a separate context.
Okay, we're moving on to number 17. Here's 17. Oh,
Here at Colonial.
Sorry, the initials are BA for 17.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also...
That glottal stop prior to the word only gets me. History isn't the only thing.
Also on
If you want to pause before only, make it sound intentional. You know, you could say it to someone like, history isn't the only thing, but that O is so hard. History isn't the only thing. It has that glottal on it, that stop. It just kind of ruins it for me. Other thoughts on that audition? I'll play a bit more.
plenty of 21st century fun with busch gardens, water...
Any comments?
Little over the top.
Little forced.
Again, announceritis.
Yeah.
It wasn't conversational.
I'm not feeling the fun.
Once again, almost Disney-like.
I thought it was fun, but it sounded almost like it was reading for a toy commercial.
Yeah, I thought it was fun too, but yeah, it made me think of commercials after Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly that.
Okay, here's 18. The initials are CS.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun with busch gardens.
You can't hear plenty.
Kind of staccato, almost like it's really punching them back, punch back.
It is.
A couple words really were punched out. Soak and fun.
Felt a little aggressive.
Yeah, great words, huh? This is the best words, the best class for words, for descriptions. Yeah, it was a little forced. It was forced fun. It was like a fake smile almost. It didn't.
It was
I
annoying.
feel like she wasn't having fun. She was trying to have fun.
Damn it, you're gonna
have
up here the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, one thing you can do to have fun is you can use lead-ins throughout the entire script. Before every sentence, even before every phrase, say something that's fun. Like that's truly fun, whether it's a line from the script or something else. Tell a joke, right? Have someone make you laugh before you read each line, and then just edit out all those little improv things. And sometimes what's left over is really interesting and lots of fun and very natural sounding.
Profanity works too.
What does?
Profanity is a lead-in.
If you're up for it, yeah, it does. I mean, a lot of voice actors will use the F-bomb in their lead-ins, because it does it.
Don't forget to edit them out.
Yes, don't forget that. It does kind of loosen you up. We can't demonstrate here because we can't swear on this call. It's being recorded, but it does work really well. It really does.
Foo.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Never thought of using that.
Okay, we're going on to number 19 here.
What are the initials?
Thanks. The initials are DJ.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up.
Holy sounds.
Definitely that glottal stop.
Yeah, big glottal stop again. What else?
Rushed.
Oh, I did not think it was rushed.
Whispery. I thought it was whispery.
I didn't think it was. Let's listen again. We have some different. See, I'm hearing a variety of comments here. Let's listen back.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st.
There's also. I'd like to hear him merge those words together. There's also, as opposed to there's also. There's also.
Yeah.
Outside of the glottal stops, I don't hear it being breathy. I think that you may be hearing an element of his natural voice that has some air in it, but I don't think it's necessarily breathy. Other comments? I kind of like parts of it quite a bit. Other than the glottal stops, I sort of liked it.
Yeah, well, I agree with the emphasis, like on the small word also, and it felt like the emphasis was wrong as he flowed. It wasn't flowing smoothly.
Felt like between Williamsburg and history, there was like almost one word, Williamsburg history.
Yeah. It also shouldn't be accent. Plenty would be a better word to accent if you were going to do that.
Let's take a listen to some more.
Century fun with busch gardens, water country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner. We guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
I think he
Okay.
sounds. I think he sounds like he's having fun.
I actually like the end of that.
Bill, sorry, wait, Bill, did you say it sounds like he's having fun or it doesn't?
It does. I thought.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
does.
Okay.
Yeah. And he has an authentic sound to him about this.
It's very relaxed.
Yeah,
In a good way.
I liked it. Other than glottal stops, I thought it was quite nice. His take, by the way, was 27 seconds, 27 roughly and a half.
Mhm.
Almost everyone else is coming around that 25-second mark. At the beginning of right before we played even person number one, we looked at 5 lines of text, and we said, well, at 5 seconds a line, it's about 25 seconds, and most people have come in at 25 seconds. He came in at about 27, which means he kind of spread it out, which I like. He took a little break between the 3 different parks toward the end, which I thought was nice also. Some people have run them together. Let me go back. I need to look at the script to say one thing. Some people have made Busch Gardens and Water Country sound like one thing. I did not like that on some of the reads. To exaggerate the point, to illustrate, some people have sounded like this. With Busch Gardens, Water Country, that sounds like
Right.
one thing. This guy really made those separate.
Yeah.
It's as if he said, well, it's a 30-second script. I'm reading it at 25, so let me open it up a bit. And that was nice. He came in at 27 and a half.
Yeah, it was clear.
Yeah, I liked it.
Is there an
Let's
edit
go
at
to,
perspective?
I'm sorry, there was a question?
Is there an edit at perspective? I mean, it wouldn't kill the read. I'm just curious whether you heard that.
That's Randy's voice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, hey, Randy.
Hi there.
It's fun recognizing voices. Shocking to me that I remember names. Oh my goodness. Randy, how could I forget your name after all the years? Randy's an amazing character and voice actor. We've known each other, 20 years now, probably. Oh my goodness.
I was just musing on that. What was I? Oh, I was going to say thank you because I'm terrible at remembering names.
Let's go on to person number 20 here. Our last one. The initials are BT. Here it is.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history.
Sorry. We don't need to hear anymore. Right now, your
No.
ears should be tuned enough to know it's stilted, it's not flowing, there's not a natural smile. The more you do these, the faster you get. If I was casting on my own, if I needed to listen to these 20, I would have been done. We've been going 57 minutes. I would have been done 56 minutes ago. Exaggerating a bit, but not much. Yeah, when you know what you're listening for after a while, you move through the auditions really quickly. There are 3 that we have all identified as, or at least most of us have said, I like that one.
Yeah.
And interestingly, all 3 are male this time. Let's go back and listen to those 3 because I need to pick a first, second, and third place
I
winner.
have 4. Do
What
you have
numbers
the
do you
same
have?
3 as me?
Well, I have 7. Oh, I do have 4. You're right. Oh, Carrie, good job.
7, 11, 12, and 19.
7, 11, 12, 19, yes. I'm going to listen on my headset so I can hear the quality a bit better. Because now sound quality is really important. Let's just listen to these last 4 again. Going back to number 7, the initials are JH. It is possible that JH is on this call. I think we have like 100 people on this call. Is that right?
96, yep.
96. So we typically have like 200, 300, 400 people. So entries. So there's a chance that JH is on this call, or at least one of these 4 people are JH. Okay, here is number 7.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and, oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
Okay.
I like them.
I like him too.
I like them.
Yeah.
Go
I
to
like
Colonial
him.
Williamsburg.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's-
a master
like it.
trick in there with the
I
number
think that's the one
35,
I said
little
hire
lift.
him.
Okay, let's go on to number 11, which is BC. Everyone, BC.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and, oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
two things that throw me off a little bit about that. And I do like a lot of that read. His editing is not as good. If he is listening, your edits are really clear if you know what to listen for, and some people won't notice that. And his edits with music mixed in, I don't think anyone will hear them. And a hair slurred on some words. Okay, before I go on to number 12, any comments on that?
I thought the word drenched didn't really get highlighted either, and there were definitely, the drenched water, soak up, that kind of thing. I thought it should have been hit a little bit harder.
There's still a very nice personality in his voice. So maybe it's not right for this spot, but he's reading comfortably. There's a natural variety, a good pacing to his read. So a lot of good things there. But yeah, I think the number 7 is still outwinning for number 11. We're going on to number 12 here, which the initials are AA.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
Rushed.
A little forced, a little rushed.
Variation in the list.
Definitely too hyper.
Yeah. I think if we take him off the list, then we are left with 3, which is perfect for our first, second, and third place. That leaves us with one more person to listen to. This was person number 19. The initials are DJ.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
Number 3.
I
like
say
that
he's
one.
not. I like him as number 2.
I like that one.
I like him the best, I think.
That's the
'cause
one.
I like his.
It was a warm invitation to everybody, and I think it was a little fast at moments, but otherwise, I think he killed it.
Yeah, I like his
Good.
energy.
Had a little more youth in it.
Definitely second place.
My first choice is the first one.
Yeah, number 7, and then number 19, and then number 11.
Could you play just 7 and 19 one after the other?
I can do that, sure. Number 7 is JH.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and, oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
And here's number 19.
Here at Colonial Williamsburg, history isn't the only thing your kids will soak up. There's also plenty of 21st century fun. With Busch Gardens, Water Country USA, and Virginia Beach right around the corner, we guarantee they'll be drenched with insight, perspective, and oh yeah, maybe just a little water. For your free family vacation guide, simply call 1-800-281-3135.
First one.
The first one would
First
visual.
one. Yep.
I think 7, 11 are more relaxed, which works for this spot.
7, 19, and 11.
Like 19
I
best.
guess I'm not sure myself. Just
I
in
agree.
that they seem to be like one is sort of an older fatherly one, and the other one's kind of maybe a younger father, more exciting, a little more youthful.
Yeah,
So-
but age is not going into this.
no. Well, I guess some terms are just the way it sounds. It has more of a youth energy, and the other one has more of a soothing
Paternal.
energy.
Yeah, the
Right.
fact that it says we need to engage listeners of all ages, I think we need something that has a bit more energy to it.
But I think you got to remember that the script says your kids right in the first sentence.
Well, you could mean your grandkids.
That's right, Lee.
Right.
Well, I understand,
But I
I'm
think what he
saying that-
means is that you're reading to adults and not to kids.
But I
Right.
think you have to catch the kids' ears as well with this because they're gonna be like, wait, what? I want to go to Busch Gardens. I want to go to Virginia Beach. I thought that was kind of why the engaged listeners of all ages, kind of like when you see a toy on TV, it's like they catch part of it and they go, Mom and Dad, I want to do that. Whereas
Sure.
Mom and Dad goes, oh, that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
I agree. I've noticed the ones that had the most energy, overwhelmingly people haven't really liked them or said they were too hyper or too over. But I mean, when you see the word excitement in the direction or the description, how do we know what's too much excitement, you know?
Well, you don't know. I mean, there's no way to know exactly what the client is hoping to hear.
No.
But you know that the music will, more than likely, there will be super exciting music. You can watch commercials from this particular company on TV or on YouTube, find their old commercials. You can call up the company and hear, listen to some information from them. Find YouTube videos of people who've gone to the park, and maybe you can hear the music they play in the background and get an idea of the amount of energy they have. You can get some idea. Overall, yes.
I also think
I was just going to ask you if the script or the copy is different than what they want in the specs. It doesn't match. Do you go with what the copy tells you it should be?
Yeah, definitely. I would.
Okay.
Yeah, go with what the copy says or give two takes.
I also
Okay.
think one of the important points is when they finally come down to the real joke. The only real joke, yeah, maybe just a little water, and so there's that little laugh in there in number 7 that just really works. It takes it out of what the script, how he's reading it otherwise.
Yes. Yeah.
Really
there
like
is.
the warmth
I thought,
inside.
yeah, it seemed like number 7, the voice had a little more color in it, and I was getting visuals. I liked number 19 too, and it had, I thought, more excitement, but I wasn't getting the same visuals going on in my head.
To me, number 19 is a little forced at times. It's just not a natural.
Yeah.
It doesn't flow as naturally. After we played it 2 times ago, a lot of you said that was your number 1 choice, and I was thinking that's definitely not my number 1 choice.
Yeah.
And then
7
after you heard numbers 7 and 19 back to back, a lot of you switched to number 7. So
I think 7's it.
I think the more I'm hearing 19, it's becoming less attractive to me.
yeah, if it was up to me, well, it is up to me.
By the way.
Yeah, I think we're going with 7, and then number 11, and then number 19.
I agree.
We have done it then.
Okay.
Congrats,
Ta-da!
gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Yeah, here's before we all get off this call, what I would like to know is this: what are your big takeaways from going through this type of, I won't call it a class, this process, whatever we call this session. Exercise. Oh, yeah, perfect. What are your takeaways from this? Being with a group of people who you don't
Competition.
even know. What do you
It's-
learn from this?
Competition is fierce.
It's about how you start.
Yeah.
Watch your glottal stops.
Oh, please watch them. Always watch your glottal stops. Yes.
Listening to everyone make the comments, what we're listening for, helps us to have a little bit more clarity when we're in our own studios. Rather than being rushed, relax, make sure that we have something to begin with. Put ourselves like we're talking to one person, as you said. I mean, that's huge. And especially with the excitement, we sort of, that was a little bit confusing for me. If you're going to be excited, then how excited? There's a
Yes.
little miss there.
Well, it's a matter of if it's genuine or not, I think, too.
Genuine
a
is
lot
so key. Artificial doesn't work in this industry.
It's like
It
a fake
doesn't
I
work.
think it's
smile.
about,
I hate
I
fake
think it's about
smiles.
the feeling that you can project. What is the feeling that you can project?
Yeah. Well, more so, Robert. What is the feeling that the listener will hear?
Well, they want to
I
like
remember
you. I mean, you
one-
want to like that person when you hear them.
Bill, who just talked about the smile. Bill, I'm reminded of an episode of the show Friends, when Chandler Chandler has to smile for a photograph or something, and he says, "I cannot smile in photographs." And I'm sure some of you have seen this
Oh,
episode,
right,
and he has this fake, the biggest fake smile, like, and that's to some degree what's coming through some of these reads, that fake smile. So you have to get yourself out of that fake smile. I said this earlier, I'll repeat. That's when you use lead-ins, whether it's the F-bomb or a clean lead-in. Use something. Tell a joke, lead into it. Find your favorite line in the script, the line that is easiest for you to add smile to, and read that as a warm-up and then go into the script. If you have to, read a funny line in between every sentence and just edit them out. Yeah, do what you need to do.
I go on a workout group, and there's one young lady, and that's exactly what she does almost every time when I work out. She always puts questions before each line to get the right emotion.
Yeah, it works really, really well. Sure.
Okay.
Okay,
I think
everyone.
Oh,
Was there another question?
I was just going to comment that I think that a big takeaway for me, I'm new at this, is that always not only just be genuine to yourself, but even be genuine regarding what they're asking for. Because excitement for someone could be really up and upbeat and a lot of energy, and that would be their natural self. But if that's not your truth and that's not who you are, then you have to just be more friendly and more energetic. And that may be your excitement, but it still comes through as excitement. So you always have to just be what you are. Because when I looked at excitement, I thought really upbeat and energetic, but I got to tell you, that's not really who I am. And I'm sure mine sounds really forced. So that was a really valuable lesson.
You also have to do the ad that fits you. And don't apply for everything.
Right.
Very, very true.
True.
There's another interesting thing that came up in this class, or this session, and I want to point out. Someone mentioned when you're reading, a lot of people, I want to say this differently. A lot of people will see this script and think, I should read for kids. And you're right. It starts by saying it's for adults. It's clear in the words, like something similar to that. And I've seen this happen so many times over the years. When we record, when we are given scripts at our studios to record, not training or not for the education portion of our business, but for the production side, when we have commercials for colleges and universities, very often when we say, or the client will say, we need a kid to record or it's for kids, the voice actor automatically assumes that it should be upbeat. They think I should be reading for, or even reading for like a 17-year-old, and it should be fun. But very often, it's the parents who are the decision makers at colleges. And then we've even had situations when we are recording adult education scripts, but voice actors sometimes see the word education and they automatically go into thinking like it should be overly, like over the top, fun, funny, silly. It's really important to not go on autopilot. It's really important to look at the script and really think who the user is. Who is the client selling to? And make sure you read to that person, not who you might think it is.
Don't assume, huh?
Yeah, there's a great sort of like a riddle like that, where I could ask you, if I said to you, we are hiring you to record the voiceover for an audio tour of a museum, for the exhibits at a museum, what kind of energy level would be necessary? You might say, well, you think about it, patrons walk around a museum, they have the headset on their ears, so I should kind of be one-on-one, kind of an even keel energy. But what if I said that it's a kids exhibit? What energy level do you think would be appropriate then, everyone?
You beef it up.
But see, you're all wrong, because I'm thinking of the children's wing of the Holocaust Museum. You think higher?
Ew, yeah.
Once again, you're all going on autopilot. Do not go on autopilot. Look at the reason why it's being recorded, the audience, the setting, the situation, and then you form the kind of voice that's necessary. Do not go on autopilot. Take that away with you today.
Yeah, it would have to remain informative, correct?
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Does everyone, any real last fast questions? Anyone?
Yes, I got a question. Will there be some kind of feedback with the other entries?
No, unless you pay for it.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, we have hundreds of entries. I offer, who's asking that? Joy.
Yeah.
I offer a service, and I I'm quite sure a number of people on this call have taken it. It's a private review. They're $47. And that's just me and you, and we go hyper on your recording, sound quality and performance. So if you want to do that, sign up for a $47 review. If you go onto our website, under the tab that says training and demos, there's a link, a dedicated link to the $47 feedback or $47 review, I think it's called.
The thing with the F-bomb, the F-bomb before going into
What is an F-bomb? I don't get it. I
Oh, dear
understand the word,
God.
but
yeah,
Oh.
same here.
what is this?
Oh, F, meaning the four-letter swear that starts with F and ends with K.
Yeah, but
Oh, I know what
I
that
mean,
is.
how are you applying
Oh,
this in
okay.
voice?
Let me
That's
talk
what I
about
don't
lead-ins.
understand.
Okay, let me talk about lead-ins. A lead-in is when you add a word or a group of words, a small phrase, or even a full sentence, really. And when you add something, some words, to the beginning of the script to warm up on those. Because, Joy, it's really hard to begin in character. It's hard. In real life, when something happens, our brains switch from whatever we were saying to whatever we need to be saying and in whatever emotion is necessary. So, Joy, if you get a call from a friend and they say, Joy, I just got a raise at work. Your first word is right in cue. Your first word is like, whoa, that's great. And you're excited. And if a friend calls you a minute later and says, I just got fired, you will immediately go to, oh, I'm so sorry, right? Your emotion changes really fast. But when people read scripts, the emotions don't seem to change as fast. You need most voice actors need a word or even 2 or 3 words to kind of get into character. But when I'm casting, I don't listen to more than 2 or 3 words. So you may be fantastic except for the first 2 or 3 words, and I'll never hear anything other than the first 2 or 3 words.
Yeah,
So
sure.
voice actors add a couple of words before they record the script. They say them out loud into your microphone. You hit record, you add a couple of words that kind of get you into the emotion. And then you just delete that lead in before you send it off to your client. And
Oh, okay.
and when that warm up includes a swear, it tends to make people kind of comfortable and personable. Swears, I don't know, for whatever reason, these 4-letter words, they have a feel, they make us smile, or have some emotion. And when you use a swear, it tends to really kind of get you into a natural emotion. So a lot of voice actors will use the F word, which I was calling the F-bomb. They will use the F word, which I really wish I could say in this class, but I can't. But I wish I could.
I was
And
gonna
it
ask an
gets you
example.
into character. It does a great job getting you into character.
Yeah, I think lead-ins also, what the great thing that it does is it also makes the beginning of your read slower.
Absolutely. Most people it does. Yeah, I've heard some people who go faster.
I mean, well, but for me, no, that works. That slows me down. I'm in the middle of a sentence now. I'm not at the start.
Yep. Oh, well, yes, that makes a lot of sense. Yep.
Okay.
Well, everyone, I appreciate your time. I really
Thank
enjoyed your
you.
feedback on these 20 reads. I think over the 6 or 7 times we've done this type of contest review, I've had a varying number of auditions. I kind of like this number 20. I think we'll stick with 20 for a while. And if you go back and listen to some of the previous reviews, there was one we did of all 275 entries, and we did that in an hour or so. We just cranked through it. That's hard to do, but that can happen. And you should go back and listen to that recording because you'll hear a whole bunch of people, like on today's call, hear one word and say, nope, move on. And you realize how important that first word is, how important that first impression is. You have to nail your first impression. So I wish you all a fantastic night. And thank you again for your awesome comments, everyone.
Thank you.
David.
Thank you.
David.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Hey,